Hello, what is up, guys? For those of you that don't already know, my name is Gianna, and I thought I'd come on here and just talk a little bit because it's been something that's been on my mind lately, especially as time goes on and I meet new people, and I feel like it's just something important to talk about and like add on to as time goes by, because my whole reason in being so open about these kinds of things on the internet and with everyone in general is mostly so that people will understand and so that people will feel comfortable with their decisions as well. So for those of you that don't already know, I dropped out of high school when I was 16, and I can honestly say that it's been the best decision I've ever made, and it was definitely the hardest one I've ever made. And I can understand if you don't understand my point of view, but I guess me being here right now is going to be me trying to explain it to you, because I feel like I've tried so many times to explain it, and if certain people don't want to understand, that's okay. I guess I'll just start out with the fact that I can't even talk right now, but I can just remember being like 12 years old and being in the 7th grade and feeling so terrible and just feeling so depressed. And this went on for years, obviously, and it's still something that's pretty still, I don't know what the word is for that, but it's still a part of my life. I still randomly get depressed because I have depression. It's not just going to go away. All of my mental illnesses were a huge, if not the only reason that I dropped out of high school, just because I remember being in school every day and being depressed because of school and having so many anxiety attacks and panic attacks a day because of high school. I also remember how much happier I felt when I wasn't there. I don't know if it was because of the people or if it was because of the schoolwork or the teachers, but as far as I can remember, it was just everything all at once, and it was all the stress all the time. And I mentioned this the other day, but I feel like the one thing that I ever got out of high school was that I could try as hard as I wanted to, and I could do my best, and I could try my hardest, and it still wouldn't be good enough sometimes. And I guess there was just some things in school that I really didn't find important enough to learn, so I just didn't pay enough attention to sometimes, and that was part of the reason that I got bad grades. And a lot of the reason that I got bad grades is because I also got very sick very often. When I was in middle school, I was on a track team, and I never got to compete at any of the meets because I got sick so often that I would miss school and I would miss track practice, so I couldn't be in any of the track meets, which was terrible, and it seemed unfair, but I understand. And this happened all throughout high school, and I got so sick all the time that I would miss school, and when I came back to school, I didn't know what was going on constantly, so I got even more sick because I was getting even more mentally ill because of the fact that I didn't know what was going on. I came to school every day and I felt so stressed out, and it just kept making me more and more depressed, which later on led to the 2 or 3 times that I attempted suicide. And I was hospitalized for a week one time, which I feel like a lot of people know, at least a lot of people that watch me. And I had to be on medication for a really long time. I had to move out of my parents' house at a certain point. There was so many decisions that I had to make in my life to get to the point that I am now, and dropping out of high school was one of them. I feel that a lot of people have this like preset thought about people who drop out of high school and don't finish high school or don't go to college, and it's mostly just that they're not smart and lazy and will never amount to anything. And I feel like, for me at least, that's not true. I feel that I am very intelligent. With that being said, I never ever once thought that I was intelligent enough to drop out of school. I still believe that I'm constantly learning new things, and I will constantly teach myself new things, but I never believed that I had a place in the school system that we have in our country, and a lot of it was because I know that there's a lot of other people like me, and there's no place in the school system for people like me, which is why we often end up feeling alone and don't finish high school, or even harming themselves or killing themselves, which I also don't think is fair. And I think that after all of this time, I've learned to not care what people think about me, just because it had a lot of impact on my self-image, and I hated the fact that I was so insecure about a lot of things, and I can finally say that I'm not anymore. But the one thing that bothered me the most was how bad I felt about the decisions that I had made, because other people didn't understand why I had made them. So I'm here today telling you that I have many mental illnesses. I'm getting over them slowly, so very slowly, but I hopefully will get to the point one day where I can say that I'm happy most of the time, which right now I am, but I know that there's never going to be a point in my life where I'm constantly happy, because I know that nobody will. But I just hope that people understand that people like me don't fit into a certain part of society, because I would have never been happy going to school every day and trying to fix my grades, and I probably wouldn't have finished school on time anyway. I think that the worst thing that could have happened was that it would have just kept making me depressed, and I probably would have succeeded at attempting suicide. And I probably wouldn't be here anymore. And that's probably one of the most painful things about this topic to me, is that people see me as a high school dropout, and I see myself as someone who survived their mental illnesses because I dropped out of high school. And it frustrated me for so long, up until just even a few days ago, that people didn't understand it. And I just guess I had to get over it and understand myself that some people are never going to understand, especially because a lot of people are fortunate enough to not have to go through the things that I had to go through, and I'll have to be okay with that. And I'll have to learn to, I guess I'll just have to learn to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, it's my life, and I made the decisions that I did because it was the healthier option for me, and I'm still here today, and I'm so thankful for everyone in my life and where I am at this point in my life, and how much I've grown as a person, and how much more intelligent I've become because of the decisions that I've made in my life. And I think that's really all I have to say. I don't want to get too into it because I know that I'll get emotional, especially because I was watching a movie earlier and there was something in it that was really triggering, and I had a full-on anxiety attack, which doesn't really happen very often at all anymore. But if you took the time to listen, then I appreciate it, and I guess I'll finish this video now, but I love you all so very much. You're all so beautiful, and if you have to make any decisions like the ones that I've had to make, just know that you're not alone. Bye.